India gets a medal in hockey after 41 years. Our hockey moment of glory at the Tokyo Olympics as the Indian men's team beat Germany, winning the bronze, a phone call from the Prime Minister and celebrations across India. And a wrestling silver for Indian wrestler Ravi Dahiya. It's India's second silver at the Olympics. At home, his grandmother says he kept his promise to her and the country. Weekly COVID cases are now rising at a 6% average. 40,000 plus cases, over 500 deaths is now our daily average. These numbers showing why India can't let its guard down just yet. In a major move, the government scraps retrospective tax, a major tax law change with a controversial 2012 retro tax to finally go in 2021. The centre says it's ready to refund taxes paid without interest. Remember, India had lost cases internationally on Vodafone and Ken on retro tax. The government says this move will help economic recovery and foreign investment. The Prime Minister's hockey reference today to what he says are opposition's self-goals in Parliament. Meanwhile, the Congress protests outside Parliament today. Rahul Gandhi says the Prime Minister has put Pegasus on young people's phones too. This as the Supreme Court hears 9 petitions against the Pegasus phone hacking allegations today. The Supreme Court asked the centre to appear in the case next Tuesday. The Chief Justice says allegations are serious if true. Game on in Uttar Pradesh's high-stake election campaign for state elections next year. Akhilesh Yadav begins his campaign in Lucknow. The Chief Minister is in Ayodhya today. India travellers are now on the United Kingdom's amber list. They will now be able to quarantine in a place of choice, and if a test is negative after 5 days, they can leave quarantine. Meanwhile, Serum Institute's Adar Poonawalla announces help for Indian students regarding quarantine. But the big question is, why is Covishield, a UK vaccine which is made in India, not accepted by the UK? And we can't stress this enough, India is celebrating tonight that Olympic hockey medal. Guts, grit and glory, now the victory. So, twin celebrations for India today. India's second silver with wrestler Dahiya and also a bronze medal by the Indian men's hockey team. Now, this is the first Olympic hockey medal after 41 years. So, here's why that bronze is worth its weight in gold. Let's just look at that huge hockey victory by the Indian men today.
The new poster boys of Indian sports. Simranjeet Singh, Harmanpreet Singh, Hardik Singh, Rupinder Singh, who scored the goals today, and PR Srijesh, who had 9 saves. It was a heart-stopping encounter with a penalty shot against India in the last 6 seconds, but the Indians held on to their lead, beating Germany 5-4 for the Olympics bronze.
Yes, the pacemakers kicked back in again.
India made a sensational comeback after being down 3-1. Simranjeet, back in place of Lalit Upadhyay, struck twice.
जब भी ये टीम सेलेक्ट हुई थी तो मेरे को डेफिनेटली फेथ था कि मैं टीम में सेलेक्ट होऊंगा. अनफॉर्चुनेटली मेरे को सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ जब, तो एक फील होता है कि हर प्लेयर को कि हाँ मैं स्क्वाड में नहीं हूँ.
It has taken Captain Manpreet Singh and PR Srijesh 3 Olympic Games to get to the podium. This is India's 3rd bronze at this edition of the Olympic Games, but 12th hockey medal ever at the Games, putting them ahead of Germany as the country with most medals in men's hockey. Coach Graham Reid praised the team's resilience.
We did it in this morning's meeting where we zoomed out and I showed them a picture of the bronze medal, and we got up on the seat and we said, right, picture yourselves, putting this medal around your neck tonight.
There were special messages as well. One from Prime Minister. The second from the Odisha Chief Minister, whose government has not only sponsored Indian hockey for the last decade, but also built infrastructure, providing it a second home in Bhubaneswar.
The whole of India is so excited, as is Odisha, of course, We are all behind you and we wish you the very best.
The win is a shot in the arm for a sport that once brought gold and glory to India for decades. Tomorrow, the women's team also plays for the bronze, but as many are saying, bronze is the new gold. In New Delhi, Rika Roy for NDTV.
The men's hockey stars, India's new heroes. So we are going to go across the country for reactions. But first, let's go across to Punjab, to this Jalandhar village where 3 of India's hockey stars are from. And Ghazali has spoken to 3 of their mothers, because after all, behind these heroes are their families.
Right now, I am joined here by the families of 3 players, Captain Manpreet Singh, another 2 players, Mandeep Singh and Varun Singh. 3 proud mothers here joining us today on NDTV, and we'll speak to them about how they are feeling since the news broke in the morning. सबसे पहले आप
ਸਵੇਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਚ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਤਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਹੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਰਹੇ ਵੀ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਜਿੱਤਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਹਾਰਦੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਲਾਸਟ ਮੂਮੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿੱਤ ਗਏ ਆ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਈ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਮਝ ਲਓ ਕਿ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਨਿਕਲਦੀ, ਮੂੰਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਫੋਨ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਬੋਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ।
ਫੀਲਿੰਗ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੀਗੀ, ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੈਡਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ है। ग्राउंड में खेलते थे, इसी ग्राउंड से खेल के और बाहर गए हैं और इसी ग्राउंड से खेलते।
तो आज आपके मैच के बाद उनसे बातचीत हुई है? क्या कहा उन्होंने? आपसे बातचीत हुई होगी?
कुछ भी नहीं कहा, उन्होंने बोला कि मम्मी हम जीत गए। मैंने कहा बहुत खुशी की बात हुई है, जितनी खुशी तेरे को उसकी दूनी खुशी हमें है।
So one village where 3 of the hockey stars are from and their 3 proud mothers. Across India, more reactions coming in from families, including a wife who hasn't seen her husband for 6 months and many, many more.
The streets of Mikapur in Jalandhar have exploded with joy. This village sent 3 hockey players to the Tokyo Olympics: Manpreet Singh, Varun and Mandeep. At the bronze medal winning captain's house, an emotional mother who says her son called her before the match to tell her they were going to win a medal.
40 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਾਲਗੜ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ 올림픽ਨ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਲਿਆ, ਆਪਣੀ ਬ੍ਰੌਂਜ਼ ਮੈਡਲ ਜਿੱਤ ਲਿਆ। ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ।
ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਆਂਸੂ ਹੈ, ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਕੇ ਆਂਸੂ।
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆने के बाद ਸੈਲੀਬ੍ਰੇਟ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਲੈਣ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਮਨਾਵਾਂਗੇ।
ਮੁਬਾਰਕਾਂ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਕੋਰੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ, ਸਾਰੀ ਟੀਮ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ ਮੇਰਾ ਉਧਰ।
बहुत मैच जो है बहुत स्ट्रगल करके जीता है, बच्चों ने बहुत अच्छी फाइट करी है।
At goalkeeper Srijesh, aka the Walls House in Ernakulam, his father and wife were in tears.
I am very proud of my son.
We're so happy and proud that our team made us proud and India proud. He's such a dedicated and hardworking person. He deserves this.
Equally emotional scenes at the house of Lalit Upadhyay in Varanasi.
बहुत खुशी है, कोई अंत है खुशी का ना हम लोग बखान कह सकें।
यही इंतजार कर रहे थे कब इंडिया जीते।
What a journey of sacrifice and grit it's been for the players and their families. And also India's second silver coming today from Ravi Kumar Dahiya in wrestling.
Ravi Kumar Dahiya trailed 2-0 in the first round before he bounced back to level the score, but the round ended with defending world champion Zavur Uguev ahead 4-2. The Russian raced to a 7-2 lead before Dahiya fought back with 2 more points but couldn't overturn the 3-point deficit.
हम खुश हैं जी, सिल्वर मेडल पहला ओलंपिक था, अच्छा मेडल आया जी।
सिल्वर मेडल का जो हमारा प्राइज है वो 4 करोड़ रुपए का प्राइज है, तो 4 करोड़ रुपए की राशि भी ये उनको दी जाएगी।
With the 23-year-old silver, Indian wrestling has won a medal for the 4th straight edition of Olympics. In New Delhi, Rika Roy for NDTV.
And here's another surprise contender to watch out for. Golfer Aditi Ashok is tied on second after 2 rounds in contention for a podium finish at the Tokyo Olympics. She finished her round 2 outing at the Games and she remains in contention for a podium finish. So that really could potentially be a big result if that happens. Another Indian, Diksha Dagar, is also tied on 53 with a total of 148 in the second hole of the day. She sank a double bogey. So much hope there riding on young Aditi Ashok, whose mother is caddying her at the Olympics. Well, let's move to our other big headline, and those are COVID cases in India. We are at 42,982. That's a bit higher than yesterday. But also, of course, worryingly, we're at over 40,000 cases now consistently. Deaths also at 533. Let's just look at the positivity rate, which is 2.58%. That's still under 3. And vaccinations have gone up at over 51 lakhs. But let's just look at the weekly averages and that why it's showing a worrying rising trend. Our average cases per day are now over 40,000, average deaths per day over 500. And our active cases are over 4 lakhs. The reproduction number indicating the spread again is over 1. That's a 6% rise in weekly cases. So we need to be very, very careful at this stage that we don't head into a third wave. Well, our big other headline is the government scrapping the retrospective tax. Now, remember when Pranab Mukherjee brought this in 2012 as finance minister for Vodafone, this became a huge issue. In fact, India has lost major arbitration cases abroad in both the Vodafone and the Ken case. We've been fined billions of dollars, but the centre has now said it's willing to give refunds of the money they've collected in tax without interest. What will the responses be? And also the centre saying this is being done to speed up economic recovery and foreign investment. Sunil Prabhu speaks exclusively to the Revenue Secretary on this big move.
Government has taken a major tax reform measure, something that nobody has done in the recent past. Firstly, many congratulations. How did you all go about and take the courage to go ahead and undo what Mr. Pranab Mukherjee did in 2012?
I think it was the commitment of the government right from 2014 that they did not believe in retrospective taxation. And I think Mr. Arun Jaitley has said it on the floor of the House, and the cases continued because they were legacy cases. So once that conclusion reached, so it was the political call that was there, and obviously the government had this in mind for a lot of time.
Some critics would say, sir, that you all are working under pressure because of the fact that, Air India's in New York have been, assets have been done. Ken has been putting 1.2 billion, tax claims and everything else. That you all crumbled under pressure and acted. Is that an unfair criticism?
I would say it is an absolutely unfair criticism for the reason that the arbitration tribunals have decided the cases. The award itself has not been confirmed by any other jurisdiction so far. These enforcement decisions are coming, but there is a process in those courts, so we have a right to go into appeal. So basically saying that even these cases would take a long time to get settled finally this way or that way. So basically there is no pressure on the government for that reason that we were asked to pay an amount yesterday, so we brought this today to settle those issues. So that is not the position at all. The cost to the exchequer in a sense would be not because the amount that was collected will be returned. So it is not that something is being paid out of.
So how much will you be returning?
So in total there are about 4 cases, and the biggest case is the Kane case. The total would be close to about 8,000 crores.
Well, a big decision there. The Revenue Secretary explaining the rationale behind it. But of course, the other big headline is Parliament on, protests on, but bills being passed one after the other. So 5 major bills being passed today in various houses. Let's just look at those. And also, of course, the Prime Minister saying the opposition scoring self-goals, but protests continuing outside Parliament as well as the Supreme Court hearing the Pegasus case.
2 दिन खबर will please say take up clause by clause consideration of the bill. Normal procedure के हिसाब से बंद किया जाए. दिन रात काम कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे सेवा दे रहे हैं. अपनी वो सेवा करें और will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
What is happening is completely unconstitutional. It is the model of democracy.
पूरे के पूरे सदन के को हाईजैक करना चाहते हैं।
हमारा करोड़ रुपया खर्च हो रहा है और आप संसद में नारेबाजी कर रहे हैं।
The Pegasus phone hacking scandal rocked Parliament for the 14th day. Outside, Rahul Gandhi led a Congress protest.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने पेगासस को आपके फोन के अंदर डाला है। सिर्फ मेरे फोन के अंदर नहीं, सिर्फ मेरे फोन के अंदर नहीं, हिंदुस्तान के हर युवा के फोन के अंदर नरेंद्र मोदी ने पेगासस का आइडिया डाला है।
एक तरफ हमारा देश, हमारे युवा भारत के लिए नई सिद्धियां प्राप्त कर रहे हैं, तो वहीं देश में कुछ लोग ऐसे भी हैं जो राजनीतिक स्वार्थ के में डूब करके ऐसी चीजें कर रहे हैं, लगता है सेल्फ गोल करने में जुटे हैं।
This on a day the top court announced it will examine the issue next Tuesday, calling for a government representative and saying the truth has to come out. Acting on 9 petitions, including those by the Editors Guild of India and other senior journalists for a court-monitored probe, the 2-member bench led by the Chief Justice said, the allegations are serious if media reports are correct. When senior advocate Kapil Sibal, who was representing the petitioners, said, as per the NSO group, Pegasus can be purchased only by vetted governments, the Chief Justice asked, what if state governments buy it? To which Sibal replied, I think only the central government can buy it. A probe by a group of 17 media organizations across several countries recently revealed that thousands of verified mobile phone numbers, including those of politicians, journalists, business persons and activists, could have been targeted for hacking through the Pegasus spyware of the Israeli company NSO Group. 155 people on the list were from India. The centre, however, has called the Pegasus controversy a non-issue and a non-serious issue. The judges also questioned the petitioners, who are being represented by some of India's top lawyers, including Kapil Sibal, Shyam Diwan and Rakesh Trivedi. The Chief Justice asked, mostly all petitions are based on media reports. There is a lack of verifiable material. If the phones are hacked, why is there no FIR filed? The petitioners replied, there are 37 verifiable cases of interception. Complaint is not being filed as a high-level probe is needed, and the reports of an old number of a former Supreme Court judge and phones of registrars are on the list of potential targets of snooping. To which the Chief Justice of India said, the truth has to come out. We don't know whose names are there. Hand over the copies of the petitions to the government and let them be here on Tuesday.
Centre has so far maintained its stand in the Parliament that there was no unauthorized surveillance, but has refused the opposition's demands for holding a debate on the issue in the Parliament. But now it will have to answer in the Supreme Court. In New Delhi, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
Well, politics at the centre, but also now the focus shifting to Uttar Pradesh politics as the game is on now before state assembly elections early next year. Akhilesh Yadav virtually starting his campaign with crowds out riding cycles, and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath in Ayodhya today to mark 1 year of the Ram Temple Foundation stone laying ceremony. The Prime Minister also addressed a UP audience today.
The Pole Bugle in Uttar Pradesh has been sounded. 3 events marking the beginning of political activity. Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav leading a 10-kilometer long cycle rally in Lucknow. UP Chief Minister Adityanath in politically crucial Ayodhya to mark 1 year of the Ram Temple Foundation stone laying ceremony. And Prime Minister Modi addressing beneficiaries of the free grain scheme in Uttar Pradesh. All this on the 5th of August, exactly a year after the groundbreaking ceremony at Ayodhya since the abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir.
The Samajwadi
Party is calling it the beginning of the 2022 Assembly election. You can see this chaos out here. It's because Akhilesh Yadav is on a 10-kilometer long cycle yatra here in Lucknow. I have to point out that COVID protocol has gone for a complete toss here, and that's because there are hundreds of people surrounding the Samajwadi Party chief and the former UP Chief Minister as he cycles along with hundreds of kilometers for about 10 kilometers.
Before the cycle rally, Akhilesh hit out at the BJP, calling the Adityanath government incompetent and blaming the BJP for COVID deaths and chaos during the second wave.
जिस तरह की नाराजगी जनता के बीच में है, हो सकता है 400 सीटें जीत जाए, और आज तो स्थिति ऐसी है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास प्रत्याशी कम पड़ेंगे, प्रत्याशी टिकट नहीं मांगेंगे.
Chief Minister Adityanath spent 4 hours in Ayodhya, one of his many visits here as UP Chief Ministers, offering prayers at the Ram Janmabhoomi. On Wednesday, government sources said while the temple will be completed by 2025, it will be open to the public from December 2023, months ahead of crucial Lok Sabha polls.
Namaste.
From Ayodhya, the UP Chief Minister also watched this virtual address by Prime Minister Modi to 80 lakh UP ration card holders. Many of them given ration handouts today in bags with photos of Mr. Modi and Mr. Adityanath on them.
पिछले साल कोटि-कोटि भारतीयों ने सैकड़ों साल बाद भव्य राम मंदिर के निर्माण की तरफ पहला कदम रखा. आज अयोध्या में तेजी से राम मंदिर का निर्माण हो रहा है.
Both the Samajwadi Party, whose members you see in the frame behind, and the BJP have started their campaign for the 2022 Assembly elections in the right earnest. But given the experience of previous elections during the COVID pandemic, one can only hope that all parties in UP will have some respect at least for COVID protocol. In Lucknow with camera person Vineet Verma, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
And COVID, what's that? As we head into election campaigns, we seem to have learned none of our lessons. But let's look now globally at what's happening with the Delta variant. Well, the United States is at over 93,000 cases, deaths also at 490, mainly amongst the unvaccinated, according to US health officials. In India, numbers rising again. So we're now at number 2 globally. We can see those numbers there. Brazil at number 3 with over 40,000 cases, but a high number of deaths. France at 29,241. Now again, that's very high given the size of their population compared to, say, India and Brazil. And the United Kingdom still at over 29,000 with 121 deaths. But today, the United Kingdom has moved India from the red to the amber list, which means that Indians flying to the UK will no longer need a mandatory 10-day hotel quarantine. Instead, now they can stay at a place of their choice in quarantine, and on the 5th day of quarantine, they can take a test. If they're clear, they can then move out. But the biggest irony is that the United Kingdom is not accepting a UK vaccine, the Oxford vaccine, AstraZeneca, which is made in India, which is Covishield. So they're still not accepting us as fully vaccinated with Covishield, which means we shouldn't actually be on any amber list, but just be allowed to go in. Meanwhile, Adar Poonawalla has joined the NDTV initiative to help Indian students who are being hit by high quarantine costs. Adar Poonawalla of Serum Institute said, I remain fully committed to helping Indian students quarantine in the UK on arrival for their higher studies. The new amber list rules make it clear that Indian students will still need to quarantine, albeit at a place of their choosing. They may therefore still incur substantial costs, he said, while speaking about the initiative with NDTV. So he's put a personal donation of 10 crore rupees to help students' quarantine costs. But as we end this bulletin tonight, we have to end again with the euphoria caused by India's bronze medal hockey win. It's worth its weight in gold for Indians today.
आज तो जी मना इतनी खुशी हो रही, इतनी मेरी शादी मगनी हुई.
बहुत खुशी वाली गल, बहुत ज्यादा खुशी वाली गल. ये कमबैक है इंडिया का हॉकी में.
यही इंतजार कर रहे थे कब इंडिया जीते।